4.1 is all about classifying triangles. So the first blank, a triangle is a three-sided polygon. We can write, the shortcut for writing triangle is you actually just draw a triangle and then label it ABC. So you have to include all three vertices.
Is it always going to be ABC?
No. X, Y, Z, R, S, T, all kinds of things. All right, so we're just talking about the basic things about this triangle right now. So the sides of this triangle are
AB,
BC, AB, BC, and AC. Now, you can go backwards or forwards. So you could have said BA, CB, or CA.
But they have to be in order? That, like, a certain order?
No.
It doesn't matter?
No, it doesn't matter. Okay, the vertex are points A, B, and C. So we have three sides. We have three vertices, technically is the correct word. And then the angles. So you have angle A, angle B, and angle C. Okay, so when we start classifying by the angle measures, so we're going to learn to classify by two different things. The first one is by angle measures. We have four different kinds. We have acute, which means all three angles are acute. We have equal angular, which remember equal is close to equal. So equal angular is when all three angles are the exact same. Then we have obtuse. Well, there's only one obtuse angle to make obtuse. Does that make sense as why?
Yes.
What's an obtuse angle? 90, greater than 90. Well, if we have two angles that are greater to 90, is it a triangle?
No.
No. So you can only have one obtuse angle, and then you have one right triangle. Okay, so 1 through 6, we're just going to practice classifying these as acute, equiangular, obtuse, or right. So take a few minutes and do 1 through 6.
Do we have to write, like, right triangle? Or is that right?
You can write it right.
Acute is like 90 or below, right?
Mm-hmm.
Easy peasy.
All right, Savannah, what did you put for number 1?
Right.
Right. Number 2, Jack, what did you put? Obtuse. Because 120. This showed that it was an obtuse angle. Number 3, Aubrey, what did you put? Equiangular. Do y'all want to know something? Here's something you should know, whether you want to know it or not. I'm going to tell you. What is 180 divided by 3? 60. So, if you have any triangle, the only way to make all three angles the same is if they're what? 60. Because the only way to divide 180 three ways and have the same is 60. Okay, good. Number 4, Juliana, what'd you put? Acute, good. 5, Jackson. Right. 6, Jonathan. Obtuse, because of the 92. Good. Okay, now take a minute and look at number 7. Is triangle XYZ acute, equiangular, obtuse, or right?
Right.
Why? Go ahead,
The
Brayden.
whole thing is right.
The whole thing. We're not talking about one triangle or the other. We're talking about the whole thing, X, Y, Z. And down here, 40 plus 50 is
Right.
90,
Oh.
so it's right. So, explain. Triangle XYZ is a right triangle. This is because, or I know this because, angle Y contains 40 plus 50, which equals 90. Okay, so that was classifying triangles by their angles. Now we need to learn how to classify them by their sides. There are three options. They're either equilateral, which means they're all three the same. They're isosceles, which is two are the same. And then there's scalene, which means none of them are the same. Here's my tip as to how to remember these three. Equilateral is easy because it's closer to equal. Isosceles. Think of I saw another side that was the same. Does that make sense? So isosceles, you could also think of I saw another side, which means two. Okay, it's just a little trick if you need help remembering isosceles. And then scalene, I haven't come up with a clever way for that yet.
It's just the other one.
It's just the other one. It's not equal, it's not two, so it's the other one. So you have 6 triangles right here. Classify them as equilateral, isosceles, or scalene. Good. Isabel, what'd you put for 1? Scalene. They're all different. Number 2, Tate, what'd you put?
Equilateral.
Equilateral. Good. They're all the same. Now, if I know all of the sides are 18, what are all the angles? 60. If it's equilateral, then always. Allison, 3. Scalene. They're all different. Number 4. She's not here. Natalie, what'd you put for 4? Isosceles. Good. I saw another angle. Or sides. 5. Braden, what'd you put? Isosceles. Good. And then number 6. Alex, what'd you put? Equilateral. Good. All right. Try 7, 8, and 9. You might have to put some pieces together. This point, or this right here, helps you out. This right here. 7 was talking about triangle FGH. So from F to G to H. What do y'all think? Did anybody put anything different? Y'all all put isosceles? What'd you put, Jenna? Equilateral. Is that what you put, Aubrey?
For 7?
Yeah, I put equal.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I put equilateral.
Oh, yeah, it would be.
It would be. Here's why. If point K is the midpoint of FH. Well, if K is the midpoint and KH is 2.5, what's FK? 2.5, which means when you add these two together, this FH is what? 5, and so is this side, and so is this side. So it's actually equilateral. Okay, then we have G, J, L. So we have side 8, side 5, and then what's GL? What's the length of GL? 8, because this is 5, right? Remember the little dashes? If this dash is right here and it's 5, and this has a dash, then it's also 5. So you have 5 plus 3, which is 8. So what's 8? What's isosceles? Because you had two sides that were the same. And then we have FHL, which was scalene. We had 5, 7, and 3. All right, 10 and 11, you have a triangle, and it tells you to find x and the length of each side. So how many answers are you going to have for this one? 4. X and the length of each side. How many sides are there? 3. So you have 4 answers. Here is what you have to know, though. It's an isosceles triangle where AB is congruent to BC. So this side is congruent to this side. Well, what do I do to solve for x? Set them equal. 2x minus 7 equals 4x minus 21. So here's one of my answers. Then you have to plug it back in and find AB, BC, and AC. Well, if I find AB, do I have to even do math for BC?
No.
It's the same. When you finish 10, go on to 11. Does it matter which side I set equal to which side on number 11?
No.
Nope, because they're all equilateral. So it doesn't matter which two you set equal. Jasmine, you with us? Put your head up. Please, thank you. Patrick, what'd you get for X? 3. Ariel, have you gotten one of the sides yet? What'd you get? 19? Is that what everybody else got? Well, if I found one, do I have to find all 3? I just have to plug it in. Right there. Why? Why can I only find one? Because they're equilateral. So if I find one, then they're all the same. Questions on 10 and 11? All right, to the back. So now we're given 3 points. and you have to find the measure of the side and classify it. Well, okay, so if here's triangle A, B, C, what do I do? How do I find A, B, and B, C?
You got
And-
a graph.
You can graph. Is there a way to do it without a graph?
No, I think so. I don't know how to.
Do you remember a formula we might use to find the distance? So there's okay, so do y'all have graph paper? Let's try to graph this. However, if it doesn't make straight lines, then I have to use the distance formula. But I don't know what kind of triangle this is going to make. Do what? You can use distance, yeah. I'm going to try to graph it first just to see what happens. But distance works every time. So I have A, which is 7, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So here's A. Then we have 3, 5, 1, which is B. And then we have C, which is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so this is C. So here's the triangle. Okay, well, what's the only thing I can find the distance of using this graph? BC, which is how long? 4. That's it. That's the only one I was able to find. So for AB and AC, I'm probably going to have to use the distance formula. So, do you remember it? Girl with long hair, sweep to the side. How many eyeballs? What goes in the middle? Nose, plus sign. What goes in the middle of the eyeballs?
Minus.
Minus for her
Jesus.
pupils. Squared mascara and
X1.
she broke up with her ex before she asked herself why. Okay, so we're using A and B. So you have the square root. Y'all should be able to kind of do this in smaller steps than we were taking before. So you have A, B. So you have 5 minus 7 squared plus 1 minus 6 squared. So just simplify. You can use 5 minus 7 is negative 2, and negative 2 squared is 4. And then you have 1 minus 6, which is negative 5. Negative 5 squared is 25, so you have the square root of 29. Can I simplify that? Let's just leave it like that. Okay, now let's do AC. 9 minus 7 squared. Is everybody doing this with me?
Yeah.
9 minus 7 squared. 1 minus 6 squared. Well, 9 minus 7 is still 2, so that's 2 squared, which is 4. Negative 5 squared, which is 25. So what kind of triangle did this make? Isosceles, because 2 of them were the same length. Do what?
Like, how do you solve for B on that? Because,
How do I solve for B?
yeah, like, what? How do you know which points to use in the distance one? Like,
Okay,
obviously
so
you use-
draw your triangle,
Oh, you use
and then you
B
use
and
A,
C.
B, A, C, B, C.
I did not think before I asked that question.
Okay, do we need to try another one of these? Or are you good with this
We're
kind?
good.
Okay, let's go on to 14. Find the measure of the side of the isosceles triangle KLM with the base of KL. So, what's the reasoning of them telling us that this is the base?
It's the longest.
Okay, well, what does that help me do? If I know that this is the base, and I know it's isosceles.
Oh, it's
Oh,
telling
okay.
you, yeah.
An L in
It's telling me that these two are the equal ones. So, to solve for D, 4D minus 13 equals 12 minus D. So I get the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, if you're done with 14, let's do 15. You can always draw a triangle if you need to. However, for this one, you don't really need to because it tells you that they're equilateral and it lists all the sides. So just set any two of these equal to each other. So you get 3, 10, 10, and 10. Alright, when you're done, you have practice on the back. These distance ones down here can kind of get long, so I'm going to cut out 2 of them, and I want you to just do 1 through 10 on this page. 1 through 10.